Let's now go to former Foreign Minister Alexander Downer, joining us live from London. He was the Foreign Minister when Australia joined the International Criminal Court. Thanks for joining us, Alexander. Do you now regret that decision when you see this action taken against Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant?
I think, to be fair, I do regret the decision, although the decision was made in goodwill and on the basis of the Rome Conference, which led to the Rome Statute. That is, that there was an absolute undertaking that if we were to set up a court, an international court of this kind, the principle that you've alluded to, known as complementarity, that is, if the domestic political and legal system permitted any prosecutions of war crimes domestically, that should take precedence. The International Criminal Court was meant only to come into play if domestic remedies didn't exist. So, you know, dictators without court systems and so on, or at least independent court systems. It was not meant to apply to a liberal democracy with a fully functioning and entirely independent legal system like Israel. So this decision by the court now to charge the Israeli Prime Minister and former Defence Minister constitutes the politicisation of the International Criminal Court. And it leads me to a rather sad conclusion, which is the only courts that we can rely on as Australians are our own courts. International courts established of all sorts of different values and countries and cultures will never and should never replace our own legal system. So never again would I have gone down the path of getting into something like the International Criminal Court.
Well, as you say, those rules and those guarantees were in place. It was not supposed to operate like this. Now it is operating in a political way. Do you believe it's beyond reproach then, and Australia should commence proceedings to withdraw from the Rome Statute?
I think we should get together with other like-minded countries, and there are a few. I mean, obviously, the current Australian government is much in favour of the court, and it's clear because they don't have the political courage. They have no political courage, by the way. They don't have the political courage to tell us all what they really think, which is that they would arrest Netanyahu if he visited Australia, which you can rest assured he won't for as long as Labor is in office. But I think we should get together with a group of like-minded countries and sit down with the leadership of the International Criminal Court and say that we have reached a fork in the road with the institution. And unless there can be a new provision inserted into the statute which would assert even more decisively the principle of complementarity, then we will withdraw altogether from the court. I mean, the Trump administration, when they come into office, will almost certainly introduce a whole series of sanctions against the judges and the prosecutor and other senior officials in the court. And if that happens, it will absolutely cripple the court.
Yeah, exactly. Those sanctions have already been flagged. Thanks for joining us, Alexander. I appreciate it. Alexander Downer there, who was Foreign Minister when Australia joined the diplomatic movement for the International Criminal Court, now saying he regrets doing that and that Australia should either demand the court reforms in the way that he's just outlined or Australia should withdraw.